We see some friends doing corporate job and some are doing well, some may not be, but we say they have independence and individual identity they have created. And then we see people in family business and लोग ताना मारते हैं कि अरे इसका तो मतलब ठीक है फादर का था, ठीक है इसकी तो मतलब सिल्वर स्पून है, whatever. And because of that, many times people start to create friction in their home or with their parents, saying I want to do different, I don't want to do what you are doing. India is the future, India is a green spot. Even if you look at the world economy today, everything is in global media is about recession or war. India is about growth and opportunity. We are no longer snake charmers and riding elephants, right? We are CEOs, CXO level people top in employees. Large MNCs.
True.
I want to contribute in my way. I want to run a professional SME which is well respected in my industry, which represents India globally.
9 साल से जान रहा हूँ, लेकिन ये सब तो मुझे पता ही नहीं था.
यार आपको तभी पता चलेगा जब आप इंक स्टोरी पर आओगे.
Today we have Bhavesh Vaswani of Brite Coatings. They are into specialty adhesives and specialty tapes. His family has a legacy of 5 generations of being in business, starting from shoe trade in Manila with roots in Sindh, Pakistan. His family is amongst the first importers of specialty papers in India. Bhavesh chose to be in business in India rather than pursuing a career in London. I must say Bhavesh is all of 29 but a very strong, endearing and inspiring personality. He has personally inspired me to write on LinkedIn, sharing my experience of meeting different people for Ink Stories. I'm sure you guys can find your inspiration as well listening to his episode. If you're all set, let's go ahead and watch the episode. Hi Bhavesh, welcome to Ink Stories.
Thank you, Suji. Thanks for having me.
You know you are the youngest guest in Ink Stories.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure.
I've seen you for a while. Like we were just talking earlier, I've known you for like 9 years now. Since the time you got into business, getting into your dad's shoe and trying to take a hold of the business, which you have been able to do it very successfully. I've seen how active you've been on LinkedIn and other platforms. So we are here to talk about your journey, how you see your journey ahead and the legacy of your family, which probably not many people know of. Let's cover all of that. If you're ready, can we start?
Absolutely, Suji. So to start off, it's a pleasure to be here, right? And I've been following Ink Stories. I think you're doing a wonderful job. Our industry needed something exactly like this, and to be done by a guy as good looking as you, so I'm sure you must be getting lots of additional views also.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Absolutely.
And let's get started.
Absolutely.
Great. So, we are here to talk about Brite Coatings. I think you have a couple of companies. So, can you just give us a brief to our viewers? What exactly is Brite Coatings and what do you guys do?
So, Brite Coatings is into specialty self-adhesive and coated films and different types of products. We have 4 verticals.
Oh.
हमारे 4 जो vertical हैं, they are very simple to identify. All are related to self-adhesives, but we have divided into self-adhesive label stock.
Okay.
Right, which is for the narrow web industry. Self-adhesive specialty tapes. We supply to some companies for their captive use.
अच्छा.
So lots of engineering companies, manufacturing companies, उनके requirements रहते हैं for specialty tapes, which are as per their exact specifications. So we consult with them on a case to case or project to project, and we design the exact product they need.
Okay.
Then we have specialty graphics. So your wide format media.
Okay.
Right. So my family's been into wide format media right from the beginning.
Okay.
So my uncle was one of the first importers, and at that time, I'm saying maybe I think 2000, 2001, we had a printing setup also, and we used to trade in the wide format flex. We used to sell it at 127 rupees a square foot.
What I say? Yeah. Oh, that's like now 2 or 3 rupees a square feet.
Yeah. Oh. And then finally we have tooling services. So we do specialty self-adhesive and top coating tooling or contract manufacturing.
Contract manufacturing as it is called.
Right,
okay.
Right. So these are our broad
Lovely.
categorization of
Lovely.
our products and services.
Lovely to know that. So, just give us an essence of this industry. Who are the major players? Who are your competition? What are the kind of companies that you look up to in this industry? Can be some in India and some globally as well.
So obviously, the mecca of my industry would be 3M, right? The big daddies of
Big Daddy.
self-adhesive, right from the post-it and everything else they've done.
Phenomenal.
So the goal or the long-term vision would be to create a similar brand identity, which is India or Asia-centric for Brite Coatings. We want to be enablers to the innovators. I want to find all the weird inquiries and requirements of the market, and I want those people to consult Brite, work with Brite, so Brite can enable their innovations.
Lovely.
It could be in print, it could be in tape, whatever it might be.
Enable their innovation.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
You put it very nicely. I mean, that's a very nice line.
Thanks.
And for people to even think of Brite, I mean, if there would be a takeaway that ये वीडियो में यार मुझे ना भावेश से बात करना, he helps me innovate.
Right.
It's a
So
nice thing.
actually that has been in our DNA from day one. I'm proud to share that we take over 120, 150 machine trials a year. Right. And this is not something new. This is how we always run our show.
Achha.
Right. So if you extrapolate 9 years of my working, 100 trials a year, you're talking about, we've tried to develop almost 1,000 products just in my short span of 9 years. Right.
That's quite a number.
Absolutely.
I mean, this would be like actually how large organizations run their business. That's really nice.
See, for me, at least, this is how my dad has always been, right? He's always been an innovator and enabler to the market. So that DNA has come to me, and obviously that DNA came to him from my grandfather, and so on and so forth,
Let's go to your grandfather. Let's understand, probably even we have to go older in terms of understanding Brite and their journey. Where did it all start?
So it's a very interesting story. I'm glad you've brought this up. So we are Sindhi, right? My surname's Vaswani.
Yeah.
My grandfather actually came to India during partition in 47. And before he came here, we were multi-generation into business. My records, whatever I've done research, 5 generations we've been into business, counting me.
Wow.
And we were into the shoe trade and general merchant stationery.
Okay.
And they were in Sindh, and they used to do a lot of business in Philippines, Manila.
Acha.
Right. And I believe that they had a sizable business. There's some market where there's still a street named after our family till today.
Okay.
So it's a pretty cool story.
So that's quite impactful.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of, it was not like a small mom and pop store.
No, it
having
was
some
it was quite sizable.
Yeah.
But obviously in partition, when they came, my grandfather, he ended up having 10 kids, but at that time he had 2. So he came with his wife, 2 children, and utensils. He left everything behind. His
Zero, nothing
business, house, jewelry, everything. Right. That was a different time, a challenging time, and he shifted to Lucknow. And in Lucknow, then over time he got into again general trading to cover his costs of living, you can say. And over a period of 15 years, he acquired about 15 acres of land in Lucknow.
What is
and and he built a 40,000 square foot factory. I believe I've seen the roster. That time there was no architect, no civil engineer. मतलब 700 लोगों की हाजिरी होती थी हर रोज to build the factory. And I've seen the structure. I mean, it was stronger than structures we build today. So my granddad had a vision, and he got into manufacturing of leather board. At that time it was in the shoe industry. It was a hot product.
Achha.
But he didn't get the appropriate licenses. So this was about, I believe, in the 60s, early 60s. He had put everything he had into the factory, land, setup, and license nahi mila. So ab kya kare? So our factory, typically coating line, we have rectangular shape factory, longer. Our machinery is like that. So the next closest thing was paper. So he got into specialty coated papers.
Okay.
So he set up the machines, and he got into coated ammonia paper and things like that.
Achha.
And he was again always an innovator, and he was in fact the one who got tracing paper to India.
Oh.
So we were the
Gateway.
was actually brought by my grandfather, and after that Seal and many others. But it was him and his pioneering thought to bring these type of specialty papers. In fact, the first roll of fax paper that was slit in Western India was done in our factory.
Oh, okay.
Of course, these are all stories I've heard
Stories.
and have been passed down.
I'm sure that might be so inspirational in
Absolutely.
terms of, being a part of that legacy.
Absolutely.
Where you've got such wonderful stories of all these specialty papers. आज तो common हो गया है, but then those days it was like luxury. Even Flex, some 30-40 years back, it was like, not many machines were there to print.
So see, any product has a life cycle. क्या होता है कि जब कुछ नई चीज़ आती है तो it's a innovation, right? The market is small, the supply chain is small, but those who are using, they are all value adders in the market, and slowly the concept and everything percolates, and then it becomes commodity.
Right.
So how we work is we try and find those innovators. I keep using this word, and we enable them, and we become part of their journey. It could be someone in print and pack, it could be someone doing some sort of totally different industry.
Some kind of value addition.
Value additions, right? Like we are supporting the tire industry. For radial tires, we give some specialty products, self-adhesive products.
That's nice.
Totally crazy things,
Yeah.
right? We work with a company by the name of Kraton Polymers, multinational. So in COVID, they came to us. They said, "Ki we have a antifungal coating, the first in the world, which is certified by EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, USA,
Okay.
which on touch can kill any sort of microorganism within 10 seconds." So they were in...
You developed this product in-house?
Yes.
Wow.
They were in US, COVID was going on. They found it cheaper and faster to ship us the raw material to India, get it coated, test it, ship it back to them.
Oh.
Right. And they were working with a coater in France, in US, as well as us in India. And in the end, they chose us.
Very nice.
So we find, like I said, all the funny, weird people who are looking for, specialty out of ordinary, and we enable them.
Speaks volumes. I'm sure it is a very humbling feeling to be a part of this legacy. So tell us, how are you intending to take this forward? I mean, your thoughts now, India is like booming, everyone is talking about India. WhatsApp, I think every second or third forward is talking about how great India is.
Yeah.
So like coming to the print and packaging industry and coming to Bhavesh specifically, how are you doing your stuff in terms of being a part of India's growth story?
So obviously, like you said, every second WhatsApp, third WhatsApp is India is the future, India is a green spot. Even if you look at the world economy today, everything is in global media is about recession or war. India is about growth and opportunity. So definitely we are a bright spot. Many pundits had predicted this earlier, but it's come true. And I feel that in the next half a decade, we will be living the dream, right? I, by nature and by personality, I am very nationalistic. I love my country. I've always wanted to create value, create legacy. I always say this, to some customers I come and meet. I'm not in the money making business. I would be a politician or a Baba, right? I'm in the legacy creation business, because what my father has bestowed onto me is a legacy, and which my brother and I are now the pole bearers of that legacy, and we want to carry forward. That coincides with the nationalistic thought process. Pre-COVID, I was in China, Jan 2020. Maybe I was one of them who got it here, but I went to for work. I had went to a few offices, and everywhere in every office they had a flag, a flag of the national flag. And when I came back, honestly, I felt a little bad. I said, "Yeah, we color ourselves based on geography, religion, all of that, whatever. But at the end, we are Indians. We should have that nationalistic pride. Our goal should be to take our country to greater heights, right? Look at all the big tech companies. Everyone has an Indian CEO. Right now, just a few days ago, Starbucks has appointed an Indian CEO. Right. These guys are the pole bearers of the image, the new image of India. We are no longer snake charmers and riding elephants, right? We are CEOs, CXO level people
Top
in
employees.
large MNCs.
True.
I want to contribute in my way. I want to run a professional SME which is well respected, in my industry which represents India globally.
And has a global presence.
Absolutely, and has a global presence. And look, I have a mileage of another 40 years.
Yeah.
My brother's younger than me, right? So we have the timing is right.
Yeah.
The opportunity is there.
Right.
And we really, if there are more like us, we can not only take India to new heights, but completely reinvent her image.
I'm sure. Bhavesh, I wanted to ask you, like while I was listening to you, you've got a lot of resources. You are, in terms of your family, business, you're quite well established. So you had the best of choices. You probably didn't even have to join the business. You were telling me earlier that you were very good at studies and probably stood first in school and college. So why business, and what was the driving force for you? I mean, throw some light around that.
So I have a nice story.
Okay.
तो क्या हुआ कि business family है, traditionally there are certain degree of comfort which get afforded, and I enjoyed it, right, and rightfully so, right. But as I grew older, I was a good academic, I was a good sportsman, and I was very good at finance. So I did my Bachelor of Accounting at Finance at HR College at Churchgate. And as it was coming to a close, I applied abroad, UK, US, and I got also into Imperial College, London.
That's right. One of the finest colleges.
Yeah, it absolutely one of the oldest, finest, universities in the UK. And basically, it was all set. Visa interview was in about 2 weeks. I had paid up some initial token amount to block the seat and all. And I was having a drink with my dad one evening. And I asked dad, I said, Ki, Papa, what do you think? So my dad said, I never had the opportunity to study abroad. So, it's education. I don't have any restriction. Neither do I have any opinion. You're a smart chap, figure it out. So by the end of that drink, I asked dad, I said, Ki, yaar, Papa, ye bataiye. It will be an investment of 60-80 lakh rupees of yours. मतलब आपके ही पैसे हैं, right? मेरे तो नहीं है. तो अच्छा ये बताइए, अगर मैं आपसे थोड़ा कैपिटल लेता हूँ एंड अपने बिजनेस में डाल देता हूँ, एरिया ऑफ माई चॉइस, आई विल कैप्टन माई ओन शिप, व्हाट डू यू थिंक? तो डैड सेड अगेन भावेश, इट्स टोटली अप टू यू, राइट. ये बिजनेस जो भी है तुम लोगों को ही संभालना है, नहीं संभालोगे तो देन आई विल वाइंड इट डाउन इवेंचुअली, राइट. व्हाट एल्स? So I said, ठीक है, I have a proposition. I want 20 lakh rupees capital and I want 12 months. Because the cycle of the application for Imperial was 12 months. So I could defer it for a year and get back to it. वही thought process था. तो he said, ठीक है, what will you do? I said, वो सब मैं जब ऑफिस आऊँगा तो समझूंगा, right? So I said, okay. Next day I wrote my email, dear Dean, Imperial College London, I will defer my, and they accepted. ठीक है, 1 साल का horizon है, डैड ने बोल दिया कि ये कैपिटल है, अब क्या करें? तो I got into, I said self adhesive ही करना है, रोज फैक्ट्री आने लगा, राइट. फैक्ट्री आने लगा तो पता चला कि यार आई एम लिविंग इन कफपरेट, फैक्ट्री इज इन थाना, न्यू बॉम्बे, यार 1.5 घंटे का वन वे जर्नी है, राइट. तो कालबा देवी में वी हैड एन ऑफिस, इट वाज अनयूज्ड. वहाँ बैठने लगा, innovation, just get the blood pumping and in the brain, what to do. I went to the market, I went to Abdul Rahman Street. वहाँ देखा एल्यूमिनियम फॉयल टेप बिकता तो है, बट वो लिखते हैं 20 मीटर, बेचते हैं 15 मीटर. I said, ये तो नहीं कर सकता हूँ, right. Then I said, let's know, we are innovators. So we came up with the anti-skid tape. I had gone to Korea in 2013. So this was 2014 and I had seen anti-skid tape. And I told dad, I said, Papa, this I'm going to do. तो उसमें 3-4 लाख रुपए का इन्वेस्टमेंट लगा to get the raw materials and we made a fabulous product, ceramic coated, way better than what was in the market, similar price point. And then I started going with the marketing team. We went to all these 4 seasons and this and that. The challenge was it would take about 3 months to get the PO. We would supply, and the product was so good that it would outlast its committed life. So there was no repeat order, right? So it was a very weird challenge. We have over-engineered a product which is working so well that our customer doesn't need us.
Okay.
Right. So I said, okay, this is not sustainable. So then there was an old concept that we had in the 90s, early 90s. They had come up with a photo lamination film.
Okay.
That time in the printing industry. Basically, they used to do chemical lamination. And my dad and my uncle, they had come up with this concept saying that we can coat clear PVC with adhesive with different textures, canvas, glitter, satin, silky finish, and when you apply it onto a print, not only does it protect the print, but also it gives a very unique feel and finish. And that time there was the photo fair at Nehru Planetarium. I believe they had done so well, they had every day they were selling out material. But then what happened was that competition had crept in, and we are always at the forefront of technology ideas. Once it becomes commodity, we like to move on. I said, I'll do this. So I revived our brand Durofix. I got into it, and over the next 3 years, 15, 16, 17, I went pan-India, setting up a dealer-distributor network, talking to end customers, developing the product. And obviously, by now I've let the cat out of the bag. I never went to Imperial.
You never went?
I never got my refund.
I was just wanting to check, did you go or no?
That £1,000 or whatever I had paid, I never asked for a refund. I never replied to the email the next year saying, will you be joining us? And as they say,
I'm sure you never regretted that decision.
No. So far, I have not regretted it. I don't think I will in the future also. I love working. I love being in the thick of things. I love, the liveliness that comes with business. Not everything is about financial gain or loss. It's also about, do you enjoy what you do? I love it.
Yeah. I see you are very active, and I must say, not many guys from the printing industry are that active on LinkedIn. So what are your take? Why are you, I can understand you're young, and so that could be one of the reasons, but even amongst the youngsters, people who are your age, because there are a lot of the next gen who have come into the business, but none of them are that active. And how has it helped you, if at all it is? If you can just throw some light around it.
So look, I'm from a generation where we are tech savvy, right? That's one. So that is the base of this thought. Second is, by nature, I'm an extrovert and I like to connect with people, right? So personal connections is fine, right? We all have our friends and college mates and all. But the simplest way to connect with professionals in our industry, I'm not saying there has to be a business angle or anything, right? It's just, we just want to connect and get acquainted.
Can I say letting people know that we exist? Is that
yes, absolutely, right? Because which other platform affords you the ability to speak your mind? That is, if you have thoughts to, that are worthy of being put on a platform, and then have people react to them, right? So I'm not saying that I was gung-ho about it initially. It's not like I even do it with some sort of marketing plan. But the kind of reciprocation
just I get, brainstorm करने के लिए करते होंगे ना? मुझे when I hear you, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि अगर अपने मन में कोई डाउट आया, कुछ पूछना है, आप डाल दो, लोग जवाब देंगे.
And I've made such great friends. I have so many. And look, not everyone is always going to be kind, right? So it's okay. It's fine.
That's the hard reality of social media.
It's the hard reality of social media, and it's fine, right? If you are confident enough, you will find those connections who think like you, right? And I found so many. I have made so many friends or acquaintances or people I had met 4, 5, 7 years ago, and now I'm pals with them. I'm chatting with them, even doing business with them.
That's nice.
So it's a great platform. It creates a lot of opportunity and leverage. And for me, since you're saying you read my content, I always try to do share my personal story, personal opinion on some print and pack topic, or what we are doing new at Brite.
Oh, that's nice. So you want to share something with us on the Brite Anthem, which I've never seen with any other organization, even the large ones outside the industry. So tell us a little about what is the thought behind it?
So there's a famous quote by Peter Drucker.
Okay.
He says that culture eats strategy for breakfast, right? So we have become very westernized in our thought process of business. We are all about quarterly review and this and that and all. But there's a softer side to things. That's the Japanese, how they work, culture, right? By nature, man is a social animal. Right, we all want to be a part of something. We all want to be part of community. Even me being on Ink Story is nothing but wanting to be part of your community.
True.
Right, I respect and appreciate what you're doing, and this is my way of saying, okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So
thanks on that. Yeah.
So my brother's idea was actually the Brite Anthem, Chirag. So Chirag handles our ops side of
Okay.
things, and he saw that, you know, when we go into the hard way of telling people that do this or don't do that, some listen, some don't listen.
Okay.
It becomes cumbersome, and it's a carrot and stick approach. So we said no, you know, let's bring in culture. So we actually wrote the Brite anthem. We actually say it in the morning together, holding hands and all of that. People didn't like it at first. The staffs thought it was uncomfortable. But when they saw that management is participating, these two young chaps are participating, तो उनको लगा कि हाँ यार करते हैं. And it brought us all together. And it's a shop floor to boardroom type of setup, right? Watchman se lekar MD, everyone has the right and is promoted or appreciated if they participate. And I've seen over last few months that it's really changed the culture. It's really created a sense of bonding which you can't get by giving some sort of increment or year-end bonus or some gift or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different thought. I mean, not many have really thought something like what you guys have. Probably a HUL or a Reliance Industries. I'm not sure even if they have it, but what you've been able to, you and Chirag have been able to instill in your organization, I think it's really noteworthy. And I thought that this was a good platform for the world to know that Brite has an anthem, and do take an opportunity to check out that anthem on LinkedIn.
Thank you. It's purely to get us connected in a flat structure, which it has done, and it has given us way more than we thought it would.
Actually, Bhavesh, the idea of e-stories for me was to share these nuggets of not necessarily wisdom, but actions also of different individuals, different organizations to the world in general, कि लोगों को उससे कुछ सीखने को मिले. क्या मैं इसको ऐसे ही अपना सकता हूँ, या क्या मैं इसका कोई पार्ट ले सकता हूँ, क्या मैं इससे इंस्पायर हो सकता हूँ. That's the essence of Ink Stories also, and it would be nice for people if they watch your anthem and get inspired.
I mean, absolute pleasure. Right, if we can share and if we can add value, that's what my LinkedIn is about. If you see, I'm always trying to give ideas or concepts or just take feedback.
Keep it up and keep writing, keep innovating, keep asking for more questions. Even I do understand at times social media is not so friendly and they can put you down, but I'm sure it will help in the long run.
But the advantage is, देख सुजीत, कॉम्प्लीमेंट्स ना प्लेटफॉर्म पे आते हैं कमेंट्स में, एंड जो नेगेटिव है ना वो डीएम में आते हैं पर्सनल में. तो चलता है ना यार.
That's a good one.
Right. So it's like I say कि करेला भी मैं खाता ही हूँ. It is difficult to swallow, but you swallow it. Forget about it.
Right. Nice. Yeah. That's a nice way. So Bhavesh, moving ahead, you've not had a very long innings. It's been 9 years?
9 years.
So how has this 9 years been to you in terms of the challenges that you faced in business? Have you faced any failures and some success, something on that side?
So when I started, right, I was 2014. I'm 29 today. So 2014, I was 21 years old. I was very gung-ho. I jumped into it and I said, I'll figure it out. My dad was always there to support, guide. And then this clear film, what we call as our this cold lamination film, what I was mentioning earlier, Durofix. When I launched it, I really went across India. I traveled extensively. Every quarter, I was doing 3-4 trips. South, north, whatever, setting up. Did well, much better than I anticipated. And at that stage, तो मैं यही सोचता रहता था, यार इतने पैसे में तो मैं ये गाड़ी खरीद सकता हूँ. मतलब ठीक है,
all those that
quintessential boy things, तो वही thoughts चलते रहते थे कि यार. So that was my motivator, right? And my dad would always say, go easy, just take it step at a time, don't have to grow too fast, right? Basically the market is so huge, you just need a bucket, you take what you want, be happy, right? Don't aim for the stars. आप उतना लो जितना आप हजम कर पाओ. I was totally opposite mentality because I'm getting the feedback from market, I'm getting the orders, right? My machines are running full, right? So it's a very unique and heady experience. What happened was that people saw that there's an audience, मेहनत कर रहा है, आ रहा है, जा रहा है, whatever. So especially this happened in the Andhra market. I had bad payments that went bad, and it really shook me because I had some idealistic view that people are by nature are always going to be good and helpful. It's true, most cases, not all cases. मेरे पैसे फंस गए, and at that time it was at a value of about 35-40 lakh rupees, right? And for me that was a tremendous value. And how to digest, how to recover it, forget everything else, how to recover. I invested 6 months or phone calls and this and that and all trying to recover, and it really put me down. It took me into a sort of a negative I'm 23, 24, लोग phone नहीं उठा रहे हैं, पैसे फंसे हुए हैं, it's creating lots of friction in my mind. Then I came to my dad. I said, Papa, what to do? He said, don't worry, we'll figure it out. So then I appointed a dealer distributor there, a new guy. I went to Hyderabad to the market. I went to these guys, negotiated terms, got out as much as I could. Eventually, after a week there, and I was very angry. I wanted to do all sorts of things and just, rage. It was all built in. I'm on the phone with my dad, वो Bombay में बैठे हैं. नहीं भावेश, relax, हो जाएगा. In the end, I think 6-7 lakh रुपए फंस गए थे, unrecoverable, after a few months of effort. So then I told my dad, Papa, I'm feeling very low. What to do? He said, Bhavesh, dekh yaar, just think of it as an MBA. Right? You learnt a very expensive lesson at a very small investment.
Yeah.
Just move on. But
how true.
Now be careful who you work with. And that has actually been the DNA of our family. Like that is our thought process, right? We work with good people. We work with people who are good paymasters. We work with people we can have longer term relationships with. My dad has customers who are with him for 38 years, 40 years, 41 years, right? Crazy stuff. And that's when I understood the value of these things. Everything is not just about numbers on a balance sheet, right? Everything is not a P&L. There is sustainability. There is standard of living away from just what you can afford, but also balance of how you are balancing your life between work and play, and even the kind of pressures that you get from work.
I mean, that was nice of your dad to give you that words, because you need those comforting words.
Yeah.
And I खुद है कि 40 लाख उड़ा देना is not like a joke. And when your dad says that to you, I'm sure that would have instilled a lot of confidence, and was an amazing learning experience as well.
For sure. So, the advantage that I've had is my dad's always treated me as a friend, right? First beer I had with him, first girl who broke my heart, I told him. So, we've had that camaraderie, friendship. He's always treated me as a friend first. ठीक है, हड़काते भी हैं जब ज़रूरत पड़ती है. मैं भी ट्रबल करता हूँ उनको. वो तो मेरा हक है.
I can imagine. नहीं तो फिर क्या? बेटा बनने का तो सबसे बड़ा
वही. So, but he's always given me that leeway. That's been my biggest. So, when I was small, I was 14, 15 years old. तो dad क्या करते थे? 500 रुपए का चेक बनाते थे. And used to say, go to the bank and withdraw this money. And now I'm 14, 15 years old. To me, I'm seeing a check. Value का मुझे क्या समझ? Check, bank, intimidating. तो मैं जाता था. It was just across the street. You had to go and all. So I would go. I'd sit with the relationship manager. I'd say I have to do this. He'd tell me go in this line, do this. So that was the confidence building. I credit that to my father. मतलब at a young age he put that ability to face obstacles, or ability to face uncertain or new environments and experiences.
Nice.
So that, and this is a story I've carried with me. I'm 29, I'm turning 30. 15 years I've carried this story. So I really credit those type of experiences.
I'm sure it would have really molded you into what you are today.
Yeah, I feel so.
Yeah, surely. And any advice for the guys who are coming into business? You've been 8 years. There are a lot of young guys who are, and even ladies who would be joining their parents' businesses, and youngsters who are probably getting into the industry in adhesive, in printing, packaging, paper, maybe. So what is your advice for I think, is it Gen Z?
That's Gen Z, yeah. So that's the generation after me.
Yeah, after you're a millennial.
Yes.
So what is your advice to them?
So I have something I'd like to share. See, all of us we want our individual identity. And when we come into family business as second generation, third generation, we feel that we have a conundrum in our mind, right? we see some friends doing corporate job and some are doing well, some may not be, but we say they have independence and individual identity they have created. And then we see people in family business and लोग ताना मारते हैं कि अरे इसका तो मतलब ठीक है फादर का था, ठीक है इसकी तो मतलब सिल्वर स्पून है, whatever. And because of that, many times people start to create friction in their home or with their parents, saying I want to do different, I don't want to do what you are doing. The truth is, you can create individual identity as a part of what is already established also.
Correct.
Right? Like for me, I wanted to be, and my dad was predominantly into self-adhesive tapes. So what do? I do specialty label stock, specialty graphic, specialty tapes, and I do tolling. So I have created, I have kept his legacy, I have created mine. Right now my brother comes in. Right now my brother has his space. He says I'm an ops guy. I like to make sure the clock keeps ticking. Everything is on time, flawless. So he's created his thing there. So if you ask me, Bhavesh, okay, what is Chirag's role or where is he? He's an ops guy. So he has his identity. Who is Bhavesh? He's a NPD guy, new product development guy, sales guy. Who is my father, Mr. Bhavesh Vaswani? He's a finance guy, he's the vision. So everyone gets that sense of identity. People who are coming into business in second, third gen businesses should find a synergistic identity within their parent.
Create your own identity.
But within your own umbrella.
Within, or if you want to break out or do something else, that might be your individual choice.
But take time. Don't branch out initially. Don't have that ego. Ki, nahi, I will. Yeah. Because what happens is ki when you are just starting off career, and अगर आपका एक miss हो गया, तो it really hurts. And वो लंबे समय तक उसका negative effect रहता है. आप थोड़ा सा ठीक है protected हो, तो it's a legacy that your family has given you. You should appreciate it. You should celebrate it. एंड स्लोली ब्रांच आउट. उसके बाद जब आपने अपने लर्निंग कर्व्स कंप्लीट कर लिए हैं, जब आपका थॉट हाइजीन है, इंडस्ट्री थोड़ा सा 3-4 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है, आइडेंटिटी है कि ओके दिस इज हाउ द वर्ल्ड वर्क्स, तब आप करो अपना. बट डोंट ट्राई टू फ्लाई बिफोर यू हैव इवन स्टार्टेड टू वॉक और रन. राइट? टेक इट स्टेप बाय स्टेप,
baby steps, at least to start.
Have patience and look at a trajectory of 35-40 years of industry. If you start your career at 25 and you want to retire at 35, you have lots of time. We should stop being in a hurry.
Yeah,
that's the biggest issue of my generation and the one after me.
Well said. I'm sure all the youngsters who would be listening to it might be quite informative for them to introspect, think and act and analyze accordingly.
या उनके फादर्स ये दिखाएंगे, देखो अभी मत करना और झगड़े करवाऊंगा मैं. So I hope there's more plus.
Yeah. I'm sure. Let's take it positively and hope that it falls that way. For the paucity of time, I would love to, extend this conversation into many different areas, and I'm sure you've done like phenomenal work. I've known a little around that, but I would curtail it. Probably we do a part 2 sometime later as you grow in your business. So I'm just moving towards the last 2 questions, which we generally ask all our guests. It's about, the first one is, I wanted to have you. I have seen you closely over the last couple of years, your energy, your passion towards work, your willingness to innovate. So are there people in your mind within the print, packaging, paper industry whom you would like to listen to in terms of their stories? Someone you feel, अच्छा नहीं ये बंदे का story, could be your age, could be older to you, could be like whatever, someone that you can think of?
Yeah, sure. So there's this friend of mine, professionally met him, Devendra from Sycon Packs. I think he's my age. I think we're the same age. He also has a wonderful legacy business. I think he should be someone you should get in touch.
What's his name?
Devendra Solanki.
Devendra Solanki.
Yeah.
Sycon Packs.
Yes.
Okay, great. We would love to connect with him. I'll take his details from him.
Sure.
Thanks on that. Great. And the last question is, we've started Ink Stories. It's a new concept in India. लोगों को ज़्यादा पता नहीं है. So what do you think? Like after doing this, what's your first impressions and what your?
Sujit is the Joe Rogan of the print and pack industry.
That's too much to handle. Any advice for us in terms of
Yeah.
how to do it better? And
You're doing a fab job, right? You're asking such interesting questions to such a wide panel of guests. You are actually bringing the stories out. You're showing people's true pride and their visions and all, and you're creating a platform for us to know each other one layer deeper.
Yeah.
I think just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thanks, yeah. Bhavesh, it was wonderful knowing about your story. I mean, it was so much that I did not know. 9 साल से जान रहा हूँ, लेकिन ये सब तो मुझे पता ही नहीं था. It's
यार आपको तभी पता चलेगा जब आप इंक स्टोरी पर आओगे.
Thanks a lot, Bhavesh. It means a lot to meet you and do ink stories. Thanks again. I would like to close it with this. I have a lot of things to say, but I think we should just close it and probably have a second part sometime
Yeah, sure,
later.
man.
Yeah, great.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Sujit. Thank you.
Thank you.